Okay, for August 14th, August 14th is going to be kind of really diving into our series called Counterculture. And counterculture is all about, it's actually addressing an issue that was brought up in several different ways when we surveyed the congregation over what they'd like to see us address. And I would say a theme that people expressed in different ways was, how do you live a godly life in an ungodly culture? You know, there's a lot of stuff out there now. There's everything from the entertainment industry to politics to, there's just a lot of throwing away the ways of God. And if I'm going to live in this society, I'm going to live for Jesus and I'm going to make an impact for Him, how do I do that? And so we're going to do a full series in teaching that's going to hopefully be fairly in depth for believers, taken from the book of Daniel, the first several chapters, not all of the book of Daniel. Some part of the book of Daniel is all prophetic stuff, but this is about his life and the life of his friends. And so, but it's deep, cool instruction on how to live a godly life in an ungodly culture, because it's exactly what he and his friends did, and it's fascinating. And so a lot of it, especially on August 14th, the first real big point is going to be know your identity and retain your identity. Know your identity in Christ and wear it and retain it in very significant ways inside you. Never let go of your identity. Your citizenship is in heaven. Your citizenship is first, not to be a citizen of the United States of America. You have obligations to it. You are a citizen of the United States, but not first. You are first a citizen of heaven. You are first a follower of Jesus. You're not first a Democrat or Republican or... Your first identity is to be a follower of Christ, and everything that means. You've been saved, you're forgiven, you're a son, you're a daughter, you're redeemed. And the book of Daniel reveals that. That's how they viewed themselves. They were able to live in an ungodly culture in some pretty remarkable ways because they never lost who they really were on the inside. They went along with a lot of changes. They went along with a lot of cultural things, but they never lost their identity, and that's the foundation, and that's going to be a thread throughout. And so on August 14th, who we are in Christ would be a theme, and if there's creative ways to bring about that, looking up in the scriptures, who are we? Those things I named off. Adopted child, called, redeemed, forgiven, loved, those kinds of things. What identifies us? That's where it starts. You could also talk out of your challenges. Every one of you have jobs outside in the marketplace. You work, whether it's in retail or you work in insurance or you work in blue collar environments or whatever. You can talk out of your life and the struggle. Hey man, a lot of people around me party like crazy and they're dropping 4-letter words every other word and I get tempted to greed or whatever. You could talk out of those problems and those challenges and share out of that, because what we're trying to explore during counterculture is, how do I respond to that? How can I walk a solid, faithful Christian life in a culture that's going the exact opposite direction? One more note, great book to read. Any of you on your worship teams, if you want to go on the theming of it all, would be, it's called Good Faith. And just released recently. It was based on some studies of just about this. How do you live in a culture that's increasingly going secular? How do you live a godly life? So it would inform some of the ideas that you have and kind of deepen your understanding of those things, because we're going to have that.